You've been told these two chatbots are basically the same tool wearing different colors. That's the story that costs you the most, because one of them is free for the exact stuff you do all day, and the other one is worth paying for on the one task where free will quietly wreck your work. So let's answer the thing you actually typed in. Gemini versus ChatGPT, which is better? For most small business owners and freelancers on a budget, Gemini wins the everyday stuff. Fast answers, quick drafts, live web lookups, and it does a lot of it for free. But the moment your task gets long or your thinking gets hard, ChatGPT pulls ahead. That's the whole fight in one breath. Here's the loop I want you holding the whole way through. There is a line where free stops being good enough and starts being expensive. By the end, you'll know exactly where that line sits and which side of it your work lives on. Stick with me, because the place it breaks is not where people think. Quick thing before we get into it. This channel is sponsored by NBC Canada Inc. And if you run a trades or construction business, they fix the bookkeeping mess that's choking your numbers so you can finally see your cash instead of guessing at it. They put together a free trades bookkeeping scorecard that shows how much money your business is quietly losing. And the link is the first thing in the description. Go grab it. Now, back to the fight. Let's start where you actually live, the boring daily stuff. You need a quick email rewritten so it doesn't sound angry. You need 3 subject lines. You need to know what a term in a contract means in plain English. This is the bread and butter, and this is where Gemini shines. Gemini is fast. You ask, it answers, and it tends to answer quickly without a lot of ceremony. For a business owner, bouncing between 10 tasks, speed is not a luxury. It's the whole point. You're not sitting down to write a novel. You want the reply done so you can move. And here's the part that matters for your wallet. Gemini has a genuinely useful free tier. You can do a huge chunk of your daily work without paying a cent. Now, I'm not going to quote you a price or a limit because those change constantly, so check the current free tier yourself before you plan around it. But the free version is real, and it's not a crippled demo. ChatGPT also has a free version. To be clear, this isn't one tool being generous and the other being greedy, but for pure everyday speed and no friction quick answers. Gemini feels built for exactly that rhythm. Fast in, fast out, next task. So on the everyday test, Gemini takes the round. But every day is the easy part. The interesting question is, what happens when the task stops being easy? Because that's where these two stop looking like twins. Now, let's break something on purpose. Give both of these tools a task that needs real reasoning, not a quick rewrite. Something with steps. Say you're pricing a job and you dump in a messy pile of constraints. Materials cost this, but the client wants a discount if you finish early, and there's a penalty if you go over, and you need to figure out the break even and then explain it back to a customer who hates numbers. That's not one question. That's a chain of small decisions that all depend on each other. This is where ChatGPT tends to pull ahead. On tasks with a lot of moving parts that build on each other, it's generally stronger at holding the whole chain together, working through the etuendo steps and not dropping a piece halfway. The harder and more layered the problem, the wider that gap gets. Here's why that happens in plain terms. A quick task only asks the tool to be right once. A reasoning task asks it to be right at every single step, and then use those results in the next step. One small slip early and the whole answer at the end is quietly wrong. That's a trap, because a confident wrong answer looks exactly like a confident right one until you check it. So walk it through both. Give the messy pricing job to Gemini and you'll often get a fast, clean looking answer. Give the same thing to ChatGPT and you'll often get a slower answer that actually holds up when you poke at the math. For a 5-second rewrite, slower is annoying. For a number you're about to quote a paying customer, slower and correct beats fast and wrong every time. And that's the first crack in the they're the same story. On easy stuff, they tie or Gemini wins. On hard stuff, the free first instinct starts to cost you. Hold that thought, because the next round is where free can actually bite. Let's talk about length, because this one sneaks up on people. Context window. That's just a fancy way of saying how much stuff the tool can keep in its head at one time before it starts forgetting the beginning. Imagine you paste in a 40-page contract and ask questions about it. Or you feed it a long chat transcript, a big spreadsheet's worth of notes, a whole project brief. The tool has to hold all of that at once to answer well. When you go past what it can hold, it doesn't warn you. It just quietly starts losing the earlier parts. Here's how that plays out. You ask a question about page 2 of your contract after pasting all 40 pages. If the tool has dropped page 2 out of its memory, it'll still answer you. Confidently, wrongly. And you won't know unless you already knew the answer, in which case, why did you ask? Both tools have limits here, and both have paid tiers that stretch those limits further. I won't give you a number, those change, go check the current specs. But as a category, ChatGPT is generally strong on long, dense material, and when you're wrangling big documents, that staying power matters more than raw speed. Now, here's the honest counterpunch, because I'm not going to pretend Gemini is helpless here. Gemini connects tightly into the wider Google world, and for pulling in live, current information and searching the web mid-answer, that's a real strength. If your job is find me current info and summarize it fast, that live connection is genuinely useful. So the length problem cuts both ways. If you're feeding in one giant document and interrogating it, lean toward the tool that holds long context. If you're gathering fresh information from around the web, the live connected option earns its keep. But we still haven't hit the part nobody tells you, which is about the money. Here's where people burn cash without noticing. They pick one tool, pay for the top tier out of habit, and use it for everything, including the 90-second task that a free tool would have nailed. Think about what your day actually looks like. Be honest. Most of your prompts are short, and rewrite this, summarize that. Give me 3 options. What does this word mean? That's the bulk of it. The heavy reasoning and the giant documents are the minority, even if they feel like the important minority. So, paying premium prices to do mostly easy work is like renting an excavator to plant a flower. It works. It's also a waste. For the 70% of your day that's quick and simple, a free tool is not just fine, it's the smarter call. Here's the reframe, and this is the whole game. Stop thinking one tool. Start thinking right tool for the task, free option for the fast, everyday flood of small jobs. Then reach for the stronger paid muscle only when the task is genuinely hard or genuinely long. That split saves you real money without costing you quality where quality matters. And no, running both is not overkill. It's cheaper than overpaying one to do everything, and it means you're never fighting a fast tool to do slow work or a slow tool to do fast work. Both have free tiers you can start on today, so test the split before you spend anything. But there's a catch even in the smart split, and it's the thing that trips up almost everyone who tries this. That's next. Here's what nobody warns you about when they tell you to use both: switching tools. Mid-thought has a hidden cost, and it's your context. You spent 20 minutes building up a conversation in one tool. It knows the background of your project. Then you hit a hard step and want to jump to the stronger tool. Problem is, the new tool knows nothing. You have to re-explain the whole situation from scratch, or paste it all in, which eats into that context window we just talked about. So the trick is to decide upfront, not mid-task. Before you start something, ask yourself one question. Is this a quick job or a heavy job? If it's quick, open the free tool and stay there. If it's heavy, start in the stronger tool from the beginning so you never have to move a loaded conversation across a gap. That one habit, deciding before you type instead of switching after you're stuck, saves more frustration than any feature either tool has. It's boring, it works. Let me make this dead simple because you shouldn't have to memorize a lecture to use a chatbot. Here's the clean split of who wins what. Gemini takes speed, the everyday flood of small tasks, live web-connected answers, and a free tier that carries most of your day. If your work is mostly quick hits, Gemini quietly wins most of the time. ChatGPT takes the hard stuff, multi-step reasoning where every step has to be right. Long, dense documents where forgetting to start ruins the answer. The tasks where slower and correct beats, fast and wrong. That's the minority of your work, but it's usually the highest stakes minority. Notice what I'm not doing. I'm not telling you one is trash. That's a lazy take, and it's wrong. They're built to be strong in different places, and the person who understands that gets the best of both for the least money. The person who insists they're identical either overpays or gets burned on the task that mattered. So before I give you the flat recommendation, here's the honest question. Because you're not a tech reviewer, you're a busy owner, deciding whether any of this is even worth your afternoon. Okay, so Gemini is really good if you want integration with your Google Workspace and their video and photo generation, like Nano Banana to VO3, and now Google Flow. They've always been really good at video generation and picture generation, but if you want coding done or you want a more robust AI model, I would say ChatGPT beats Gemini. I've had Gemini hallucinate on me so badly, so much. One time with Gemini, I tried to scrape 20 leads and it went out, did its thing, came back with 20 leads in like 5 seconds. All the numbers were 5555 numbers. Fake business owners, fake emails, fake phone numbers, and I've only ever had this bad of an experience with Gemini. My wife was just using Gemini the other day and she asked for YouTube videos for this certain topic. It came back in like 30 seconds with 5 YouTube video descriptions, but no links. And then she asked for the link for one of the descriptions because it sounded great. Then Gemini came out and said, I hallucinated these videos here, and then it went out and actually got 5 links. I haven't had that experience with ChatGPT, so I'm going to have to say ChatGPT wins on everyday usage. It's not as integratable into your Google Workspace, but you can connect all your Google products to ChatGPT as well. So there's no real reason why you have to use Gemini and not ChatGPT. Though I'm a big fan of Claude, this video is not about Claude. It's about GPT and Gemini. Gemini is really good on the Google search. Give it to Google, they did a good job with Gemini. When you're searching Google, it pops right up, and so that affects billions of people. Maybe not billions. Maybe that's too many, but it affects a lot of people. I found it useful just Googling something, so ChatGPT wins, and now ChatGPT has a really good image generation model. Though I still use Nano Banana 2 and VO3 for video generation, here's the rule you can act on today. If your work is mostly quick, everyday tasks, start free with Gemini and enjoy it, because for the bulk of what you do, it genuinely wins and it costs you nothing. Check the current free tier and run your whole daily grind on it. But the second your task turns into real reasoning or a long, dense document where a quiet mistake would cost you a client, a quote, or a contract, that's your line. That's the moment to reach for the stronger tool, and that's the one place paying is worth it. So which is better, Gemini or ChatGPT? Neither, and that's the point. The winner is the owner who stops picking a team and starts matching the tool to the job. Free for the flood of small stuff, the stronger muscle for the few tasks that actually carry risk. Do that and you'll spend less and get better work than the person paying full price to run everything through one door. That's where the line sits. Fast and free until the task gets hard or long, then step up. Simple to say, easy to forget, and it'll save you real money. If this saved you from overpaying or getting burned, subscribe, because I break down these AI tools in plain English for people who run actual businesses, not for engineers. And tell me in the comments which tool you want me to pull apart next. I read them and I pick from them. Big thanks again to NBC Canada Inc. for backing this one, and if you run a trades or construction business, go grab that free bookkeeping scorecard in the description and see exactly how much money you're losing right now. Then go get your afternoon back.